Okay, so we've got a rust weapons tier list. Let's just get straight into it. First up, we got the spears. Listen, no one's using these. It's just no one uses them, let's be real. Next, we got the bow. This is just the normal bow. I mean, it's quite cheap. Obviously, it's pretty good early game. Takes a little bit of skill to use as well. I'll give it C tier. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty good, but you're not going to kill anyone with a tier 2 weapon, realistically, unless they're like terrible. Next, we've got the compound bow. This used to be at least an A tier, but I mean, it's had some nerfs, so now you can't hold it out and you actually have to research it. It's not too big a deal, but it's just nowhere near as good. I'd say B, it's still a pretty good grub weapon, but not as good as it used to be. Yeah, we'll mix it up a bit. We'll rank the SAR next. SAR, I mean, it's got to be at least A tier, if not S. The SAR is just too good all round, you know. It's not amazing close quarters, but it still works. You can raid with it, like, it's at least an A, maybe low S. Next up's the P2, with a semi-auto pistol. I think this is personally a bit underrated. It is really, really cheap. I think I'm putting it in C tier. You might disagree, but it's so cheap not to use. Next, we've got the crossbow. I mean, it's tier 1, default blueprint, quite cheap, and when you pair it with a nail gun, that's a pretty good combo. But on its own, I think I'm gonna put it, I'll put it with the combo, put it above the combo, actually. Next, we got the Eoka. Listen, depending on how lucky you are, the Eoka's either an S tier or an F tier. It's really just luck based. So I think for that, you have to put it in C tier. Next, we'll do the AK. It's pretty obvious the AK's got to go in S tier. Like, it's just the best weapon in the game. You can craft it, you can find it, like, it's become even easier to use with the new recoil. So yeah, obviously that's going in S tier. Next, we've got the M92. Listen, you might disagree with this. I think the M92 is terrible. The only time to use it is if you get lucky at bandit camp, when you're just starting out and you can buy one for 250 scrap. Like, it just clogs up airdrops and Chinooks, like, it's just not a good gun. 15 bullets is alright, but just not very good. Right, next we've got the water pipe. It's got at least, I don't think it's better than the Eoka really. It costs more, and like, the amount of times you shoot someone once with a water pipe and they just don't die. Like, it just don't do enough. I don't know, I think C tier is pretty good for it. Next we've got the LR. Again, I'm not a fan of this weapon at all, to be honest. Like, it's supposed to be on par with the AK. It's just not. It is terrible. Even with the 3-round burst, it is terrible. It's just not a good gun, I'm gonna be honest. On the old recoil, LR8X, that would have been like up here. But now, no, it's terrible. Right, next we got the Revo. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, to be honest, boys. Like, I mean, it's got its place really early on wipe day, but I mean, it's only got 8 bullets, but it is quite cheap. I think C tier. Top of C tier, maybe the bottom of B tier, I think. Next, the M39. Listen, I don't know about this one, boys. Like, it's basically just a SAR with more ammo and a lot worse iron sights, and it's harder to find. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it in B tier. It can't be above the SAR. The iron sights are terrible. It's quite hard to find. You can't craft it. So, I'd say B tier. But it is still decent if you got one, especially with a silencer. Next, we got the M2. Listen, I want to put it in S tier, but I just don't think it even is anymore, to be honest. It's obviously one of the best guns in the game, but you can only get it from Bradley or Heli. You've pretty much got to stand still whenever you use it. Although, you kind of have to do that with a lot of the guns now, so maybe bottom of S tier. Like, it's quite rare to get your hands on, especially when you're playing in smaller groups. Right, next, we got the Bolty. Listen, I'm not much of a roof camper, to be honest, but the Bolty can be a lot of fun just to use. It's quite strong. Yeah, I give it A tier. Next up, we got the DB. It's really cheap, you can get it tier 1. It can kill literally anyone instantly. It's not very versatile, like roaming with it's not great. If it were a bit more versatile, it'd be S tier. Next, we've got the flamethrower. Listen, that is F. That is not a weapon. That's the flame raid. After this, we've got the nail gun. Listen, the nail gun's good. You don't need a BP to craft it. With a crossbow, I mean, that's a good combo right there. On its own, though, I think I'd rather have a water pipe just on its own, to be honest. Next, we've got the GL. I mean, obviously, this can one-shot people, but the only way to get it is from heavy scientists, so it's obviously quite rare. And even then, the GL ammo's not even that common. Again, another A tier. If it were easy to get, it'd obviously be S tier, but you can raid with it as well, though. I get it's got to be S tier, I guess. Next, we've got the L96. Again, I'm not much of a roof camper, but this weapon's basically just a easier to use bolty. So obviously I'm going to have to put it above the bolty. I mean, it's hard to get, but like, it's got to go in S tier. SAR's got to go in S tier. I changed my mind. Next, we've got the Spaz. It's not a great shotgun. Yeah, it shoots fast, but it just does like less damage. So it's going in E tier. I'd rather have a DB. Next up, we got the Python. The Python's a great gun, but it's only got 6 bullets, and it's like 4 body shots to kill someone with good armor. So, I mean, if you're insane, you can just hit headshots, then obviously it's S tier, but I'd say it's probably a nice B tier. Next, we got the Thompson. It's a good gun, but the amount of clips I've seen of people just getting aim coned by it, I don't know. I guess it's going in A tier for now. If they want the aim cone, obviously it'd be going in S tier. Next, we got the MP5. In my opinion, this is the worst actual gun in the game. 500 scrap to research, tier 3, and what do you get? A worse Thompson? Like, for 500 scrap, it's just not worth it. Next up, we got rocket launcher. Again, I mean, it's not really a weapon, but I guess you can put HVs in it. You can one-shot everyone with it, but like, it's not what it's really for. Like, no one's roaming rocket launcher. Well, no one should be roaming rocket launcher. Just put it in C tier, I guess. Next, we got the pump. Now, for me, pump's got an S tier. It's the easiest gun to get your hands on. All you've got to do is get a diving set and do the fishing quest, and you've got a pump instantly. You can get that done in like 10 minutes on a server. That's how I usually get my first gun. Just for it being so easy to get. Versatile, but it's just so easy to get. Maybe not S tier. Maybe top of A tier. Just because it's worse than Tommy. Okay. We'll put it next to DB, because it's literally so easy to get. Next, we got the custom. The custom isn't like terrible, but I mean, it's literally cost the exact same as a Thompson, so I don't know why you'd bother, because the Thompson is just better. So, yeah. Next, we got the prototype. Now listen, this gun, it's a bit of a gimmick gun, really. Before, when you couldn't toggle the burst fire, I mean, it was okay, but it just wasn't great. But now you can toggle it to single fire. It's actually not bad. I mean, it's quite annoying to get, but even still, I think it's at least B tier. Next, we've got the HM LMG. Again, another tier 3 weapon. This one's actually good. It's quite, I enjoy using it, but with how much it costs, if you're going to craft this, you might as well just craft an AK. I still think the AK is better in most situations, but it's still pretty good. If you can find one in like a Chinook crate, great. Yeah, I think I'm going to put this in A tier. Right, so that's the list. Listen, maybe you would disagree with some of these placements, maybe you agree with them. Let me know in the comments. This is my opinion, but feel free to let me know yours. And that's it for this video, boys. If you want to see some clips where people use these weapons, press the video on your screen right now.